to see you in the Philippines, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. I just remember back in the day I used to play you.
Quite a bit.
All right, you've spent a fruitful 9-year NBA career, correct?
Yes.
And you played for the Dallas Mavericks, for the Minnesota Timberwolves, for the Vancouver Grizzlies, for the Los Angeles Clippers, San Antonio Spurs, Washington Wizards, and the Golden State Warriors. What would you say among all the teams I mentioned was like your favorite or the most fruitful year for you?
I had a couple of my time, obviously, when you're around 18s and 9 years, you get around, and it's when you have a chance to settle in. So I played 2 stints with the Clippers, and I had a stint for a couple of years with the Timberwolves. Timberwolves was tremendous. It was our first year making the playoffs. Got to play with Stephon Marbury as a rookie. Got to play with Kevin Garnett, Tom Gugliotta.
1997.
Yeah, we got there. It was the first year making the playoffs, so we had Flip Saunders, legendary head coach. Jerry Cece's, Randy Whitman, 2 guys that went on to be head coach in their own right. And it was great. The city embraced us, making the playoffs for the first time. We got eliminated by a very deep Houston team that had the Dream and Clyde Drexler and Charles Barkley on there. But nonetheless, it was a tremendous run. It was a lot of fun. And what's most memorable is a team effort. And secondly was playing with the Clippers. I'm from the Los Angeles area. So we gave me go home. We had the youngest team in the league. I think we averaged about 23 years of age for our team. So we were young, hot, running around. We had the legendary Celtic player Dennis Johnson as our coach, and as our assistant coach. And it was just Alvin Gentry, who's now coaching New Orleans Pelicans. And it was just fun. We were young, we were hot, a lot of energy. So both those teams hold a special place for me.
And now, Cherokee, you have gone full circle because you are back with the NBA, but with a different role. And I understand that you are now an NBA basketball operations associate. Now, talk about being part of the league as a part of the league's player development program.
It's amazing. So the development program that I was in, the associate program, is a program designed to bring former players back into the fold. So surprisingly, at the league level, there's not a lot of former players, either with the former NBA players or WNBA players. So this program is designed to bring us back in, expose us to league operations from an NBA, from our international academies, for Basketball Without Borders, to the G League, to the W, just expose us to everything basketball operations at a league level. So within that program, I've been able to take that the last year, and now I'm transitioning into a player development role. And player development with the league, we help players along with their professional development, with their social and personal development as well. It's a big adjustment for a young man or a young woman to be able to come into the league, and you're making a considerable amount of money. You're in a new environment. You're now in the business of basketball. So there's a lot that comes with that. And if you have a family, there's trades, there's a lot to the game. So we assist with players in helping them maximize the time they have in the NBA.
You mentioned trades, a lot of trades during the offseason, a lot of changes. And you did mention also one of the memorable moments you had when you were playing was with the LA Clippers. Now let's talk NBA about this generation. You had quite a career rebuilding teams. The LA Clippers are considered one of the rebuilding teams entering this season. No more Chris Paul, no more DeAndre Jordan, no more Blake Griffin. It's a different team. Of course, you still have Patrick Beverly there, Lou Williams, Danilo Gallinari. But how's it like playing for a rebuilding team?
It's challenging. It's challenging because you always come in every season before you get to the business of basketball, you want to win. You always try to put the best team on the floor, and you want to go out there and succeed. So when you are playing at a professional level, there's decisions that teams need to make for the betterment of the organization that may not fall right within what's happening in the now, what's happening immediately this season. So you might need to make some moves that are looking towards next season. So it's challenging as a player because you could be involved with a 2 or 3-way trade where you have 2 or 3 players coming from 2 different organizations. And now you got to adjust and go out there and you want to win, and you need to make these adjustments and bring them in. So it's challenging as a player because obviously you would like to have everybody together on the same page and start with the team and finish with the same team during that season. And also if you are a player that maybe is in a contract year, okay, you need to go out there and perform. You need to, suddenly you're trading, you're on a new team, maybe that new team's in a rebuilding process. So it's challenging, but you understand as a business things that the teams need to do, moves that they need to make to get better as an organization. Sometimes you're part of these things, and sometimes they'll affect you. But everybody playing, it's part of the game. Most players end up moving around a few times throughout their career.
It is part of the business, indeed. How about the super teams? We all know the Golden State Warriors, like a team also you played for back in the day. But they have a stacked lineup.
Yeah.
Of course, you still have Steph Curry, you have Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and then you add DeMarcus Cousins, although he's still injured, but you know that five can play in the All-Star game. Was it a thing during your time? Because I remember you did mention the Houston Rockets, where they had Barkley, Drexler, Elijah on, but was is there a team similar to the Warriors now back in the day?
I think always the teams that are successful seem to be stacked teams. And like you said with Golden State, while you're hot, you got to stay hot. So you're going to continually evolve, and you need to be at that level. You're going to stay at a high level by making these adjustments and trying to bring in the best players. And when Marcus came in, he took less money to be with this team, but he wanted to be part of this movement they're having right now. But looking back through history, I think all the teams that I remember that did well, like the Lakers teams and the Celtics teams from the 80s, to me those teams were stacked. I mean, I look at the Lakers when they had Magic and they had Worthy and they had Scott, they had Kareem. I mean, it was like those teams, man, those teams were stacked. And then when Phil Jackson was with the Lakers later on, those teams to me seem like they're stacked. So I think that the teams are successful bring in players that are in their points of their career where signing for the most amount of money is not their top priority, but just achieving a high level of success, because throughout the course of history, you know, some of the greatest players are playing, they never win a ring. You know, I mean, those are the times that are cemented in history, man, or those times when players get home and win rings. So, like what the Golden States are doing right now, and what Miami's done, and what you know, the teams like the Celtics have done in the past, and Lakers done in the past, and Philly's done in the past. I mean, those are the things that people remember. So, I'm for it. As a player, you need to go where you need to go. I understand as a league, it's nice to have talent spread out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I totally appreciate that. But as a player, like, you want to go where you want to fit in, and you feel like you can contribute and make it all the way to the. I never played till the last game of the season. You know how many players are going to play till the last game of the season? So I understand it from both ends. But you know, I'm okay with these teams doing it. It seems like Houston's starting to do a little bit of the same thing now. I believe that the Lakers are going to do the same thing, maybe coming up a little bit here. It seems like Philly's doing the same thing, Boston's doing. So, you know, it's a trend right now. So
Okay, so you mentioned the Lakers. The king is now in LA, your hometown. Los Angeles, California, but he's played, of course, he's played in his hometown in Cleveland. He's played for Miami, joined Wade and Bosch, and now he's playing for the Purple and Gold, a storied franchise. What is it you think with La La Land that attracted LeBron, that made LeBron go, you know, leave Cleveland and go to LA? And you yourself played for LA, although you did play for the Clips.
yeah. With LeBron, and it's just as my thought on it is, it's a lifestyle and it's a business move for him. He is a very diverse man. Basketball is not everything in his life. He has a lot of projects and a lot of businesses and a lot of charities and a lot of things that he does off the court. So I think with him making the decision to go to LA, I think there was a full package. You know, he's got a family, he's got a son that's coming into high school, that's going to be a freshman. So I think with him signing the 4-year deal, said that I want to be in LA for the next 4 years. My son's going to go to high school here the next 4 years, and then he can move from there. But I think that he's the diversity in his game and in his businesses, it makes sense for him to be in LA. So I think that had a lot to do with it. If it was just a pure basketball move, then you can open up there would be some other areas, other markets. You know, you have Boston's, you have Philly's, there's other areas, you have Houston's that you can just focus on basketball. But I think what LA brings, there's a lot off the court that's available for him.
Okay, now with LeBron out of the East, who do you think will, be on top now? Of course, you have the Boston Celtics, like what you mentioned. They're a deep team with Kyrie leading the East. And then you have the Philadelphia 76ers. You have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and those guys. And Kawhi Leonard now strengthening Toronto. Do you think Kawhi will also make an impact right away for the Raptors? Who do you think will come out of the East? And what do you think of the Eastern Conference now without LeBron James?
Yeah, well, I do think it's open. To start with, I'm excited to see Kawhi play. He's so passionate about the game. It's interesting that we haven't seen him play in almost over a year. So, and then with the coaching changes, things that Toronto's done, Toronto's just a great, rich basketball community, so I'm really excited for what they're about to do. Of course, we want to see Boston with their roster together. We got to see them play for all of 2 minutes last year before Gordon went down with that horrific injury. So I'm excited to see Boston, what they can do, and I know Brad Stevens is a terrific coach, so I'm really excited for that. Philly ended strong last year. They won a lot of games. They just moved that momentum. I don't think they just went into, we're going to make the playoffs, and now 7th, 6th, 5th, they just kept moving up. So I think they really set the bar high for themselves as far as what they can do. And then Indiana, they just came on. I mean, they very nearly lost to Cleveland last year. They didn't get to that second round. So I'm excited to see what they can do. So I think that the East is wide open. I think nobody has a night where they can sleep in that conference.
Do you think the Warriors are now on its way to creating a dynasty, and do you think there's a team that can actually, give a run for its money in Golden State against Golden State, who can challenge the Warriors, Curry, Durant, those guys?
I have to say yes. We're players. You got to believe you can win every night. Otherwise, our coaches are lying to us when they say you have a shot tonight. But they're in that position where they're hot, and so you got to keep adding to because you got to stay relevant. You got to stay at that top because it's not all you always to maintain or sustain a level of success like this is very difficult. But Houston's making the right moves. Obviously, LA's making the right moves to get back in there. But I think that when you have a bullseye on your chest and people gun for you every night's hard. So you get to that point, eventually people start to figure out. But you got a great coach as Steve Kerr, and they got a great coaching staff. But it's tough being the top. I think John Wooden, he said that for a team to go undefeated in college all year, it's like it's next to impossible. It's so difficult to do that. So Golden State has maintained this level for several years now. So I think teams are starting to man up, putting these teams together, bringing these components in. When you can bring a LeBron James in to help out, that really helps your chances. But I think this year has probably been one of the most challenging years.
All right, Cherokee, we're not done with you yet. I'm enjoying this conversation. Hopefully you are too. We're going to stop the clock for a bit. Later, Cherokee and I will talk about his experience leading clinics for young Filipino basketball players. And we've got more basketball action, this time in the PBA. Let's check out the schedules for today's games as we take a quick